Alaska is larger than Texas, California, and Montana combined, but only 20% is accessible by road. So when natural disasters strike, getting clear information and aid to rural areas is extremely difficult. But now, thanks to the SMART Grant, a pilot program using drones and high-speed internet connections, we are able to accelerate communication from weeks to hours anywhere in the state.
Today on the Morning Edition, drones are quickly becoming a vital resource for Alaskans, especially those in rural areas. We're going to speak to an expert on what's coming in the future for Alaska's drone technology. Plus, Anchorage Mayor LaFrance is proposing a 3% sales tax at the Assembly meeting tonight. We'll break down exactly what that sales tax will be used for. And later, a pianist from Anchorage is set to perform and compete on the national stage, representing the entire state of Alaska. We sat down and spoke with them to find out how they're feeling about it, and we'll bring you all the details. The Morning Edition starts now. Well, isn't that exciting, competing at the national stage?
Yeah, that's one of the things I've always wished I could do is play the piano. I tried it when I was in college. I do not have the coordination. There's too much going on, and my brain's just like, yeah, no, you need to try something else.
I did the same thing in college. I tried piano, did not work out for me. But this man must be very talented.
I'll stick to the books as well as the weather, which this morning we're waking up. Warm conditions continue across South Central. This is the cold weather that we did see last week is taking a back seat to the forecast. So as you step outside this morning, maybe just need a light jacket as we do continue to hold on to some of these warmer conditions across the region. We're only sitting in the upper 20s. Now, we typically see those overnight lows dropping well into the single digits and the teens around this time of year. But as that cold weather is taking a back seat to the forecast, we're seeing many areas across the state continuing to warm. 36 degrees in Portage, 33 out towards Seward, with areas out towards eastern parts of Prince William Sound, seeing those temperatures above freezing as well. Now, we're largely expected to hold on to some wintry mix for coastal areas, while inland locations will continue to hold on to that slight chance that we could see some isolated snow showers throughout the day. Nothing like we did see Sunday night into Monday, but you can see there's that rain snow mix that we're seeing out towards Prince William Sound. Largely dry across the Kenai, but we are watching a band of moisture that's pushing into the valley this morning. So if you live out towards Willow, Trapper Creek, Talkeetna, parts of the Susitna Valley, western parts of the Susitna Valley, this is where we could see 1 to about 2 inches of that snow accumulation sticking around throughout the day. So nothing of concern across South Central. We are going to break freezing throughout the afternoon hours, so it's going to feel warm out there for late or mid to late November standards. And we're going to continue to hold on to this warm weather pattern across a good portion of the state. Now, our next big thing we continue to watch across the state is those back-to-back storms for western Alaska. We've got some winter storm warnings in effect through Thursday morning, where we could see portions of the Seward Peninsula picking up nearly a foot of that snow accumulation. Winds also continuing to be an impact for areas across western Alaska. And we're also watching some snow as well as some high winds that will build in across southeast. I'll have more on that as well as that 7-day forecast for you coming up.
The Alaska Department of Transportation is announcing a leap in making advancements in their drone technology efforts. Joining me now is the director of the SMART Grants program from the U.S. DOT, Stan Caldwell. And thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Delmy. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. First, I'd just like to acknowledge that we really, our hearts go out to all the victims associated with Typhoon Hailong. And we were really devastated to hear the news in Washington, D.C., and understand the impacts that this has on Western Alaskan communities. I myself had lived in Kotzebue at one time and worked in Kotzebue, so I understand the importance of transportation to these communities and how this type of impact is so devastating. Since for 2 years, we've been working with the Alaska State Department of Transportation on a SMART grant. I'm director of the SMART Grants program, which for the United States Department of Transportation is in the Assistant Secretary of Research and Technology Office. And this is the biggest technology program in DOT history. It's a $500 million program that funds demonstrations of innovative new technologies. And I don't know if you're aware here, but Alaska is really leading in this technology, this innovative drone technology. And it's not just the drones themselves, but it's the data and the video that they're getting and how they're getting that information in order to improve safety and efficiency throughout the whole transportation system. And this was really tested during Hurricane Halong. Again, 2 years ago, the State Department of Transportation began working with communities to get these drones in the field to be able to test the protocols and the cybersecurity around these systems and be able to get these systems, the communications in place for situations like Halong. So when Halong happened, we wanted to come up here to actually see this innovative, cutting-edge technology working on the ground. And that's what I was doing yesterday, meeting with the State Department of Transportation. It was incredible to meet the folks that are still working on this technology, using this technology to help with the recovery. It was able to send data to the emergency responders within hours and be able to provide real-time information so that life-saving rescue, recovery, and reconstruction could be beginning immediately.
Okay, thank you so much. What types of drones does the Alaska DOT operate?
So these are drones that are out in the field. These are already in the native villages and in the rural communities. These are small drones that have cameras on them, and what they're able to do is take video of the infrastructure and assess the infrastructure. This can be used for ice road monitoring. This can be used for flooding and, of course, situations like Halong. And so what this does, it takes video and has a baseline of that video. So when something happens, it's able to have real-time changes.
To bring
and
a
so
new level of
the
safety in rural Alaska.
so the first responders and Department of Transportation and others can have real-time information. So 2 examples, there was a bridge out in Tanunuk and it was possibly damaged. And so they were able to have a drone in real time go out from 1,000 and operated from 1,000 miles away in Juneau, and to be able to assess that, make sure that that bridge was safe, to be able to get rescue crews in and to get people out. And so that's one example. Another example was there was a drone operator from one of the villages who was able to fly a drone immediately after the incident in order to get assessment of his own village that was already damaged. And that real-time information was able to go to the Emergency Operations Center, not in days and not in weeks, but immediately. And so what we're seeing, too, with this recovery is that we're saving weeks and maybe months of time in recovery, especially as the freeze is coming, in order to get people back to their homes.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Anchorage Mayor LaFrance is proposing a 3% sales tax. That proposition that will be introduced at the Anchorage Assembly meeting happening tonight. The city says the tax would bring in at least $148 million a year. Under the plan, the money would be divided 3 ways. 1% would reduce property taxes, 1% would be dedicated to child care and housing solutions, 1% go towards public safety and essential infrastructure. LaFrance says she expects some pushback from conservative assembly members who may not vote to put it on the ballot.
We have got to figure out a way to take care of the roads and the buildings, the infrastructure that we have, and to provide the public safety services that we very much need in our community.
Juneau leaders rejected the possibility of using ranked choice voting for municipal elections, even after hearing from voters.
If we are going to alter the structure of our elections, we should do what the state did and put the question in front of voters. Whether you support RCV or oppose it, the process matters. Trust in government is eroded when major changes are pushed through without public approval.
The sponsor of the ordinance says she believes that the ordinance is good for Juneau, but feels at this moment the timing is off.
This last election cycle, we were handed budget cuts. We are going to have to cut services and we are going to have to lay people off. And that is a thing we are going to work together as a community to get through. But it's going to be a really tough time for Juneau, and we're going to have to spend a lot of time and energy as a community getting through that hard time.
The legislation has been postponed indefinitely. More information on the ordinance is available on our website at alaskasnewssource.com. And over to Fairbanks, where organizers have withdrawn their proposal to open a charter school in Two Rivers. The school board was expected to vote today, but district leaders recommended against the approval. The group cites a lack of a draft contract and other logistical hurdles. They hope to work with the district and resubmit a revised plan later. Board President Bobby Burgess says he's ready to collaborate on the next steps, whatever they may be. Supporters say their place-based, hands-on model still has strong interest from educators and students.
I genuinely, in my heart, believe that our community and our school board see the value in what we are offering. It's so different from anything else that is happening in this borough that I just feel like in the room, you can be like, oh, there's some stuff wrong with it, but I see what your intent is and I like it.
The charter is being proposed to replace Two Rivers School, which the board voted to close starting this school year. Jasmine Wicks says she plans to have a new letter of intent to the district ready tomorrow. Looking ahead to this evening as a crucial decision looms for the Anchorage School District, the board is set to hold its final meeting to determine the fate of two elementary schools, Fire Lake and Lake Otis. A vote tonight could lead to the closure of these schools next year. The action comes as the district continues its push to right-size schools in the district as enrollment continues to decline. Thousands of students, families, and staff could be impacted by this decision. We'll be keeping an eye on the situation and provide updates as they become available. Still ahead today on the Morning Edition, our investigative team takes a deep dive into what the Better Business Bureau is warning against: social media, online scams this holiday season.
Active weather remains with us across the state with those winter storm conditions out west. Meanwhile, we will see the sunset for the last time this year out towards Utqiagvik before it does rise again next year. I'll have more on that and that 7-day forecast for you coming up.
Aaron, there have been warmer temperatures this morning that I noticed.
Yeah, as you step outside this morning, we are seeing that surge of warmer air across the state. We're really feeling it more so towards southwest Alaska. We're continuing to see those winter storm conditions. Now that winter storm warning that we did see for areas of western Alaska yesterday, that was set to expire Wednesday. This morning, that has been extended to Thursday. We are expected to see some heavy snowfall for the Seward Peninsula. And of course, those temperatures would help if I spelled temperatures right there. But temperatures will warm across the state as we have already begun to see so far this week. And one thing we are watching when it comes to that temperature trend, notice Nome, Kotzebue, nearly 20 degrees warmer than this time yesterday. That area of low pressure still making its approach to the north. It's driving in those warmer conditions. You can see here across Anchorage, those temperatures about 5 degrees warmer. Now, with that being the case, with those warmer conditions across the state, we're still seeing some pockets of some cooler weather, more so into the interior, even along the slope. We are tapping into some of those warmer conditions. So we're waking up to temperatures near freezing in Nome, 20s as you head towards Kotzebue. And again, those cooler conditions continue through the interior where we're seeing some sub-zero values. But those afternoon highs have managed to climb into the teens, and we'll continue to see for both the slope region as well as the interior, daily highs warming about 1 to 2 degrees each day through the end of the week. So we do have an area of low pressure that's impacting parts of south central as well as southeast, but this is our winter storm that we are watching out towards western parts of the state. Notice the flow on the southern part of that low is pulling in that moisture as well as that warmth that we are continuing to see for areas of western and southwest Alaska. That's again where Nome has already begun to see those temperatures about 20 degrees warmer than this time yesterday. And with these waves of storms moving into western parts of the state through the Aleutians as well as the Bering Sea, will continue to favor these warmer conditions. So daily highs will likely top out near or above freezing, particularly for the southern coastline as we continue to progress through the rest of this week. And of course, that heavy snowfall will impact areas of western northwest Alaska. This is where we could see parts of the Seward Peninsula up to a foot of that snowfall accumulation, while the rest of western Alaska sees the potential up for a half a foot, if not some slightly higher amounts. So as this storm shifts off towards the north and kind of fizzles out, we watch another area of low pressure building in from the south. This will reinforce those winds, the snow, as well as some coastal areas of rain and snow out towards southwest Alaska. And when it comes to the winds, not as strong as yesterday, but will still favor the potential for winds of about 30 to 50 miles per hour for western and southwest Alaska through at least Thursday. So keep that in mind here over the next couple of days. And we'll also be watching some increasing snow across south central later this week. As far as that snowfall accumulation, though, you can see the bulk of that precip will occur across western Alaska. And again, by Wednesday night into Thursday, we will be watching some snow spreading across south central where we could see that potential for some of that snow accumulation. So we'll be watching for that. Those temperatures, though, continue to remain fairly warm as we climb into the 30s, if not above freezing. We'll stay that way through the end of this week. And then temperatures begin to take a downward turn back into the weekend and early next week as we drop into the 20s.
At the weekly Make It Monday Forum, the Anchorage Chamber of Commerce presented two experts in the field of cybersecurity and fraud prevention. Mike Mason and Melissa Jean are both cybersecurity experts and discussed how to spot different ways criminals try to defraud people and how to protect your business from falling victim to these crimes. They said that the FBI reported in 2024 that fraudsters made $16.6 billion from victims in the United States, and that AI is making it even easier for fraudsters to trick you into handing over your money.
They can create very sophisticated-looking phishing email or clone our voices and video images to generate fake, very convincing content. And the content is designed, and the purpose of the content is to trick us into believing what they're saying is true.
So what can you do if your business falls victim? Mason and Jean say to take immediate action if you suspect fraud by telling your bank right away. Notify law enforcement by filling out a police report and to report the scam to ic3.gov. An investigative team, Consumer Impact. There are so many Black Friday deals already out there, and Cyber Monday is quickly approaching. Johnson Kuhn tells us the Better Business Bureau is now warning that this holiday season, fraudsters are targeting younger victims through social media platforms.
Across the board, Alaska included, absolutely, is when people are shopping online, we do tend to see a little bit of a denser reporting period when it does come to, we'll say, the holiday season.
The Better Business Bureau's Cameron Nakashima says that timing follows a predictable holiday pattern that can last through February. To put that into perspective, he says this year Alaska residents have already filed 110 scam reports with the BBB. Meaning scammers have potentially stolen more than $373,000 from Alaskans this year. They're now using social media ads to target bargain hunters.
It makes sense that those are the most popular ones that people report about finding these scams on.
But here's what might surprise you. It's not just seniors getting scammed, but people in their 20s and 30s, likely because they spend more time online. And Nakashima warns these scams can quickly escalate beyond just losing money.
That can balloon from maybe an online scam today to something much, much worse, right? Where it's like identity theft, or maybe they're trying to bleed out all your accounts.
The BBB's advice is simple: slow down. Before clicking buy now on that amazing deal, take time to research the company, especially if you found it through a social media ad. Red flags to watch for: misspelled company names, prices that seem too good to be true, and websites that don't have clear contact information.
Look them up. Slow yourself down a little bit and say, hey, you know, I'd love to learn more about this brand just to keep myself safe, and maybe I can purchase from these guys in the future if they're legit.
To keep you and your money safe as you shop this holiday season. Johnson Kuhn, Alaska's news source.
If you've fallen victim to an online scam or know someone who has, the Better Business Bureau encourages everyone to make a report through its scam tracker online. We've posted that link on our website and mobile app. If you have a tip for our investigative team, email us at 2investigates@ktuu.com.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcasts from Alaska's news source automatically and stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.